This is TVC Sports Centre.
We still monitor the build-up to the National Sports Federation elections. On Monday's show, we talked about some ex-internationals vying for the presidency of the Athletics Federation of Nigeria. Olympics gold medalist Enefionk Udo-Obong, the latest to declare his intention. Udo-Obong joins us in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning, Juliet.
Okay, first off, let's start. What's your reaction to Sport Minister Solomon Dalong's, decision to dissolve the board and kind of like bring some new guidelines for the elections?
Oh, well, I always tell people that I don't think we should interpret it in a way that the minister dissolved the board, because people try to spin it that way to say that he's interfering. The board had served their tenures. They had served 4 years, and the tenure expired on the 30th of April, and due to their constitution, they were dissolved. So there was a vacuum, there was a lacuna, and all the minister did was to tell the secretaries to take charge of the federations till elections can be held. So he didn't dissolve the associations, he didn't get involved in the federations, he just did what was right as a city minister to make sure that the sports is being governed one way or the other.
But this didn't go well with most heads of the federation.
Well, it's unfortunate that a lot of people disagreed with that, because I believe that those that disagreed are either mischievous or just being plain stubborn, because the federations were supposed to have held elections, and in most constitutions you hold elections 3 months before, 2 months before. Nobody held elections based on their constitution. So we can't continue to have them there forever. So something must be done. So there must have been, the minister had to take action.
All right, it's all about the race to replace Solomon Ogba as president of the Athletics Federation of Nigeria. And you have declared your intention.
Oh, yes, I did.
Let's talk about that.
Okay. Well, I had looked at the whole terrain. I'd been well, let me say, pushed and encouraged by my colleagues, by a lot of serving and past athletes that, look, I should take up the mantle. But I wasn't in a hurry to do so. But after looking at the terrain and seeing the candidates that are coming out, I didn't feel that we had a candidate with a different kind of ideas, with something that will prep up the federation and make athletics get back its rightful place in the nation. And that's why I decided that, okay, I should signify my intention.
All right, we've seen now the likes of Marion Yali, Henry Amike also coming out to declare their ambitions for one key post or the other. Is this a case, is this like a resolve from ex-athletes? It's time for us to take action. It's time for us to take over the running of athletics in the country.
Take over or take back our sport. We felt it away, well, unwritten, that our sport was going away. We felt it was we were losing the essence of the sports. A lot of time, people from the outside know our glory. They enjoy the glory of athletics, but they don't understand our story. And we felt that the athletes have been complaining, the athletes have been feeling that they are neglected, they are not in the scheme of things, and we felt it's time for athletes to go back and bring back the excitement into the sport. And I always caution against that. I'm one of those that don't necessarily feel that you have to play the game to coach the game. I just feel that, but it helps if a qualified person has played the game before, is taking over the realms of affairs, and it just helps. And so I tell them that I'm coming not because I'm an ex-athlete, I'm coming not on the platform of politics, but on the platform of competence.
You know, I was just going to say that because that has been the criticism in some quarters. Just because you did the sport doesn't mean you can handle the administration. Now, don't you think athletes, it's not only coming in for positions like presidents and vice presidents, that's not the only way you can contribute to the sport. How about athletes going into management and coaching? Don't you think that's another aspect you should, contribute to?
Yes, sports is a large industry, not just only in management and coaching. We have got sports in medicine, in law, in production, in industry. So sports is a very large industry, and that is one thing we don't tap into very well in our country. We can't focus so much on administration, especially local administration, but we have to expand our tentacles. We have to make sure that we broaden the scope of sports. A lot of us have been doing things not just in administration, but the point is that when you develop at a very certain stage or a certain speed, the athletes are developing very fast. We need the administrators to develop at that speed too. And once the administrators are not developing at that speed, there is a problem, and then it seems that we're not being guided very well. And I think that's what's coming in. We've gone into industry. Marion Yali has been providing sports equipment. Some of us have gone into management. Some of us have gone into coaching. but we feel that administration is where the buck stops at the administrator's desk, and that's where the policies and the guidance is taken from. So I think at this moment, I think the time is right for an ex-athlete to run the federation.
If the time is right for an ex-athlete, how do you want to convince Nigerians? Athletics has been struggling. It's been like a nosedive. We saw the last outing at Rio. It was a shamble. Just one medal coming from football, not even athletics. So how do you want to convince Nigerians it's right, ex-athletes coming on board? What is it you bring into the table?
We'll bring in new ideas. We'll bring in a new agenda. I've said that I have a policy of yes, it's about time. And the yes, it's youth development. We have to start with youth development. We have to start with education for coaches, athletes, and officials. And S, which is what a lot of people are just totally neglecting, is sound technology. Sports is all about technology. Technology in TV, technology in smart watches and smart training, technology in communication with social media platforms. It's sad that even up till now, we don't have direct communication with our athletes and our fans through social media communications. These are things that are drawing away the youth from our sports. It's getting so archaic, it's getting so old, and we have to bring back the young talents, we have to bring out the youth, we have to develop excitement. And so that's my three-point agenda for the federation.
Now, you've been an open critic of this outgoing administration. Looking at Solomon Ogba's administration, how well will you look back at it?
It's a little bit unfair to say I've been an open critic. I have criticized the administration.
Okay, an open critic of some of their decisions.
Yes, I do criticize some of the decisions taken by the board. I do support a lot of the decisions taken by the board, but I think I must add that at the earlier stage of Ogba's presidency, I was even his special advisor. So there were things that I actually encouraged. But along the way, I think that the board lost it in trying to get success so quickly and so fast. And when we started going into the avenues of importing foreign athletes and neglecting development of the youth, I think that's where there was a problem. Solomon Ogba has a lot of passion and a lot of knowledge, a lot of commitment to athletics. But then it's not a one-man show. It's a board. You must carry people and you must come with new ideas. When something doesn't work, you have to change. And I think that's where the problem is. If you go to 2 Olympics and you go to 4 or 3 World Championships and you come back with 0 medals, then something is not right somewhere.
Now, you mentioned the importation of athletes of Nigerian descent. Now, are you also of that opinion that that will hinder the development of local athletes?
Well, you asked a question and you put a clause of Nigerian descent, and that's where I have a big problem, because most of them are not necessarily of Nigerian descent. And I really don't mind if we have a very good American, either you're American or you're Jamaican or you're British and you run for Nigeria, as long as you are young enough to impact our development. If we get an 18-year-old American, a 20-year-old American, a 16, 17-year-old Saudi that's going to help our country, fine. But when you go and get a 33-year-old American, a 35-year-old American, I have a problem there, because he's coming to get his retirement benefits. He's not coming to help the athletics. He's not coming to develop young ones. But get me a 20-year-old American and tell me that, look, we are nationalizing him. I'll be glad about it, because he's going to run our trials. He's going to run with our youths. Our youths are going to see him as an inspiration, going to see him as competition, and they will develop themselves. So I think when we import aging retired athletes, it doesn't help our development at all.
All right, we've seen some Nigerian athletes posting, I want to use in quotes, ridiculous times that's even better, might not be better than what we've seen athletes in the U.S. posting. I mean, student athletes in the U.S. now. What has changed? What has changed from your time? What is it that has gone wrong?
The excitement. I think the passion is no longer there. A lot of athletes within Nigeria are taking the sports as an alternative job. Let me say that way. They have no job anywhere else, and they are walking along the way. Oh, there's a stadium. We can do something. I can do something. And they come in. We're not getting them from the youth. If you are 22 and that's the first time you're coming to run or coming to throw or coming to jump, you're not good enough. We have to get them from secondary schools. We have to get them from primary schools. We have to make sure that we've monitored people in GS3, SS1. We have lots and lots of them in secondary schools around. We must start targeting the youths. And when we target the youths and we give them something that they're excited about, believe me, all the big athletes, all the superstars, the Miriam, the Falila Togunkoya, the Innocent Ebunikes, they were all got into national stardom from teenagers. We can't get older people. We must work hard to get the younger ones in.
How can we have you and not relieve that moment, the 4x400 meters race, the Sydney 2000 Olympics? How does it feel finally getting your hand on the gold medal? That's after the upgrade.
If I had $1 for every time I answered the question, I would be a millionaire now. But I felt very great. I felt very nice. People always ask, did you feel bad not having your national anthem sung in the stadium with everybody watching? Yes, you do. But as an athlete, your souvenir is the medal. And each time you wake up in the morning and you look at that shining in your eyes, you're very proud for what you've achieved as an athlete.
All right, then. And you want to go ahead and achieve as President of the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, hopefully. Well, wish you all the best, Enefionk Udo-Obong. Thank you for sharing your time with us.
Thank you.
All right, that's it on Sports Centre. I'm Juliet Mafua. Do have a fulfilled day. Bye for now.
That was TVC Sports Centre.